Hey, how's everybody doing today? Welcome back to the channel, and first off, just want to start this video off by saying thank you guys so much for the support on yesterday's video. Ended up doing really well, and I just want to quick thank you before we get into the rest of this video. It really means a lot. Thanks for all the new subscribers too. I really appreciate it. And anyways, as you guys see by the title, we're going to talk about Wyatt Davis. If he's a day one starter for the Minnesota Vikings. Has to do a lot with him, but I also think it has a lot to do with Rick Dennison, our offensive line coach, and kind of Zimmer and their philosophy of starters. Anyways, that's what we're going to be talking about in today's video. Leave a like on the video, comment down below, and let's get right into it. All right, so Wyatt Davis out of Ohio State University. He is the 6'4", 310 guard from Ohio State University. And if I was an offensive line coach, I obviously haven't seen him in person or have watched as much tape as other NFL teams or as the Vikings have, but obviously I think he should be the day one starter, but honestly I don't know if he will. And the thing that concerns me most about this is last season when we were seeing Ezra Cleveland come in and he dominated the first game at Green Bay. Like, he absolutely dominated that game, and he looked like a mauler, and he just looked like he had something there, and we all saw it from the first game he stepped on. We saw it. And it's just a little concerning that the Vikings, they had him on the bench for that amount of time, even though right as he stepped in the game, right as he stepped into the season, the first game, the Vikings had the best rushing attack of the year. He's out there, he's moving people against Green Bay, and he was absolutely fantastic against that game. But the Vikings, they still repeatedly put out Drew Samia and Dakota Dozier at the left guard, or at both guards, frankly. And thankfully for some injuries and just Ezra finally being able to play, finally got to see how good he is, and it kind of exposed that maybe the Vikings don't know what they're looking at offensive line. I remember we normally do this post-game show after each game during the season with two of my cousins, and we were just talking about it after the game. We were discussing, like, how good can Ezra Cleveland actually be, and we are just now seeing him. And the Vikings have been seeing him for, I understand last year training camp and all that were kind of cut off, but you saw him in practice every day for damn near 3 months, and now you decide to go to him after the bye. Anyways, that's a small concern I have, that they might do the same thing with Wyatt Davis. But also, first off, the reason why I would get upset if Wyatt Davis didn't play D1 or played day one compared to if they put him in later on in the year is, listen, I know what the Vikings have at left guard in Dozier and Samia, or either that guy from Arizona with the backup center, Matt Burke. They're not better than Wyatt Davis. They don't have the potential that Wyatt Davis has, and I just don't want to waste their time. Because as we saw last year, getting off to the 1-5 start, there is no time to waste in the NFL. Especially if we got early on divisional games. I mean, every game's important in the NFL. I just don't want them to waste time by developing him. Like, sometimes you got to let these guys develop in the NFL in a real game. Wyatt Davis is interesting because at Ohio State, they run kind of an inside zone running scheme. Obviously, as you guys know, in Minnesota, we run an outside zone running scheme with a lot of pull and moving parts. There's a lot of linemen moving around, and that's why I think Wyatt Davis kind of fits in. He's a bigger guy. He's more of a mauler, but if they would be able to pull him and improve his footwork when releasing to the outside and able to get up to the linebackers and safeties, I mean, that's going to be a very tough ask, and I think he could do it. And if he would be able to develop that, the pulling guard that the Vikings do so well, which people think is a concern, that would be absolutely massive for Wyatt Davis, and that would be just massive for the Vikings in general. A little kind of scheme fit. The scheme that they had was diverse at Ohio State. So yes, it was more of an inside zone running scheme, but it was very diverse. They had a ton of stuff moving around. They're more of a week to week kind of, we're going to adjust our offense type of team, which I love in offensive lineman, because I think as an offensive lineman, you need to be very intelligent. The intelligence of an offensive lineman, I know they're these big guys, but there's a lot to call out at the line, and there's a lot of just leverage type of things. You may have a D end, and on film, we may see it as, oh, he's just supposed to block the D end. But in reality, it could be, oh, you need to take the DN and you need to move him that way, in the complete opposite way that he's facing. Oh, then you need to go move up onto the linebacker. There's a ton of stuff going on. There's a ton to remember for each play for these linemen. And then plus, they just gotta be tough. Now, there are some concerns about Wyatt Davis that I'm gonna be talking about right now. Very similarly to actually Christian Darrisaw, there's not a lot of just standout negatives on the guy. But the one negative from me watching film and kind of going over some draft profiles is, listen, he's a big dude at guard. It's just he doesn't really have that strong of a base, which is kind of concerning on film. You see his legs kind of get outside of his hips a lot, or outside of his shoulders almost in a way. Shows a weak base at some times, and then also, I don't understand why he doesn't just finish blocks sometimes. Oh, he can maul people, and I don't know if he knows that yet, and I don't know if he needs to unlock that, but there's a lot of times where I'll see a clip, he's just driving a lineman back. They're in a battle, and then he's got him where he can put him on the ground. Then we just won't. He'll kind of stay in this little tangle with him instead of moving up, getting off a block, finishing him, getting up to the next level. Obviously, that's what all pro guys do. I'm not saying that's a huge knock on his game. Obviously, if he would do that, that'd be a top 10 play for an offensive lineman if you finish a block and go move up to the next level. But I'm just saying he does need to kind of improve with the tenacity of his nature, because he is a big dude, and I really think he could be something special. I think he should start day one just to get him out there, get him experience, get him reps in an NFL game. I don't want this to be the Ezra Cleveland thing all over again. If it was me, our starting offensive line, Christian Darrisaw at left tackle, left guard, obviously Wyatt Davis, Garrett Bradbury at center, Ezra Cleveland at right guard, and Brian O'Neill at right tackle. Obviously, there's a little talk of moving Ezra to the left guard and Wyatt Davis to right guard. Listen, I know Wyatt Davis is more of a natural right guard, but, you know, Ezra was here first. He's already kind of developed it a little bit, so I would keep him there, but that's what I would just do. Let me know what you guys think about the video right now. Wyatt Davis, is he a day one starter? I think he should be. I don't know if he will be because of Rick Dennison and obviously Zimmer. But anyways, leave a like on the video. Let me know what you guys think down below. Skol Vikes. See you guys next time.